Hey guys, so welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney 2. Let's carry on where we left off. We're back at the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber for Day 2 of Trial 2. We kind of uncovered a conspiracy yesterday regarding Selden and his supposed loot that's been lost within the Garradin residence, all because he died before he could be executed on death row, so he died prematurely. And, well, it's kind of caused a curse in the Garradin residence, and one person's already lost their life, and Shamspeare almost lost his. We don't know what exactly happened with regards to how he was poisoned, but surely it was not my client, Soseki Natsume. So we're about to prove that today, facing down the Reaper once again. Oh god, what a thing to start things off today. Soseki, please, that's not the kind of motivation I need. I don't know why I was right up in his grill. I think I was checking if his eyes were indeed closed.
This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that's been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything!
And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you. Me and my trusty little blue book.
I always appreciate your help, Mrs. Susato.
Suffering Soseki selfishly sidelined!
Dude, your eyes were closed. I thought you were suffering Soseki selfishly sleeping. Okay? Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. I can't believe they had to cart you here while you were still sleeping.
Good morning! Good morning, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Listen to you two, chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here!
You weren't here. You were absent mentally.
Why would you do that? Why?
Oh dear. We didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly, you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you, even if Ryunosuke was breathing right onto your nose.
I was waiting. What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Would you like a cup of tea? Some crumpets, maybe? Why, naturally. That's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment.
Oh, he's getting sassy now.
The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Oh, such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut.
I missed the signs, I'm afraid, somehow. You'll have to forgive me, I don't know social cues. I can't take a hit.
And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume.
That was just an example.
Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm. It's sweating out of his pores.
You barely came to see me at all yesterday.
What do you want me to do? Investigate your innocence or just give you a pat on the head through the bars?
I was sure you'd abandon me and return to our beautiful long-lost homeland.
We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet.
My visa doesn't expire for another month. Yes, well, anyway. I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth.
I've actually reached an important decision myself. As soon as I'm declared not guilty, I'm fucking out of here. Back to Japan.
Oh? What sort of decision?
I shall fill you in after the trial.
Alright.
It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits.
It's a very clear message, I think. That he's overslept again. Even Natsume made it here and his eyes were closed.
The great detective. My arch nemesis. A long ways away, if you ask me and my humble opinion.
Defendant and your legal representative. The trial is about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately. Okay, yep, guess we are. With a slow fade to black, that's how immediate we're going. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. I'll argue with facts and logic. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client, and keep fighting to the very end, that's all. Okay, what really happened that night? We don't know for sure, but certainly the culprit had to be disguised as Juliet, right? Or was it Romeo? I can't remember who was disguised as who, or, sorry, play acting as who. But that would have been the giveaway for Mr. Man to believe that it was Natsume who poisoned the tea. The Old Bailey courtroom. I see juror number 4 is back in her seat.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready.
Very good. I'm glad everyone's ready. I don't know what I would say if you guys went off script. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed?
Absolutely. Justice will be done, you mark my words.
I feel obliged to say I feel especially with this on days when my hat is sitting just right. Oh, well, I wonder if you could just adjust my hat for me, and please be as ruthless as you like. Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I've no sympathy for the man at all.
Look, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this, I've got my own problems.
Oh, may the Lord show us all delight here, and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. Now, Lord Van Ziegs, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. Why is everyone so tired this morning? In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea.
Spill the tea, why don't you? So he does have the results. I guess he's going straight to the champagne, yeah? The bubbles. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the black guard in the dock. Pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. There was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in the little depression on the top of it. Yes, that's the tea! That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night! Well, the brains at the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right, it was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it, no matter how you bloody say the thing.
No poison at all.
In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. Nice to see that the tea is innocent. Now can we declare my client innocent? That would be great.
What a revelation!
Yes. Here's to Soseki Natsume, as I suspected. This makes it quite clear. We didn't need a trial day 2 today. The defendant, Mr. Soseki... Okay. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? You racist bastard! Yes, it's true. No poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty?
My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel.
Okay, what? What are you on about? I mean, I know it's salty. I mean, the connection, the metaphor, the simile. Exactly. Unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamspeare, who we've proven is a natural-born liar, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Oh, great. I guess we're playing charades again.
Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request.
Mr. Shamspeare.
Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend.
Bailiff, show Mr. Shamspeare to the sand. At once. No transition, please. Quickly.
Mr. William Shamspeare, the victim of this despicable crime. Yeah, he's totally the victim.
Oh heaven, oh hell, and do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a bellyful of the foul fluid given, in mine innocence.
Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, The witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe.
By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes.
One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given.
That's right, fellow jurors, don't forget. This man is a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten. Kept all that about the ice coins a tiny secret, didn't you? You should have owned up sooner.
Arrest him, I say. Arrest him at once, and let him feel the sting in my tail.
Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends. I confess, thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure.
God, I fucking love playing Shamspeare. He's such an annoying jackass, but in a good way. Like,
I just picture him with his most obnoxious voice.
if you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here?
Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But would it that a still greater crime passeth unpunished, though thou orchestrating my death, Mr. Suseki Natsume, that rotten scoundrel? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me. I shall now jig.
Objection!
But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamspeare?
Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak.
Cut the music.
Very well, let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why it is that the poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. Did you sniff it?
Oh, this I gotta hear. Witness testimony. Was it in the gas? The tea inconsistency.
The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. Never did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice.
Oh, right, okay, so you made the coins of ice using his tea because you were still drinking yours and your tea was poisoned.
Thus, 'tis no surprise that poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the moulds of soap.
Okay. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience.
Quite. Otherwise, it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up cups, for instance.
But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. By now it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. You will need a whole bottle of body wash.
Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspeare, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause, I have naught to lose.
Well, I do declare.
Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Who could it have been that was after the treasure? A rival, perhaps. But who? The tea inconsistency.
The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison, whilst feigning distraction and remained slowly losing the voice. Never did a drop of his own drink pass his lips.
Is that true? I mean, does it matter? Oh, I suppose it does. If his teacup was full, then obviously he could fill it. There's no tea ring on the inside of Mr. Natsume's cup. That has to be it, right? Because if he didn't drink it... I mean, that means he drank it fast, sorry.
Objection!
Done. Alright, good start, good start. You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question? I don't even need to press any other statements for this. That's how much of a layup this was. But that's impossible.
How, chop logic? What is this, ye dark, ye glad fiend?
The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof.
Incontrovertible!
What difference? Are you serious? Are you blind, Manzeeks? You've been, sleeping in the light for too long, have you? Only awake at night? Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough.
Indeed. Such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while.
And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring.
Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean. I don't know. It's beyond me. I couldn't grasp it. The truth was right in front of me.
And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it?
Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted. Drink, tea, quick. Oh, while it's hot. Sorry, I thought it was quickly. That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time.
Oh.
If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well, after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspeare, you clearly lied to the court. Again! I'm not even surprised, you fucking clown. Where's your makeup?
Get thee to a nunnery!
Objection!
Oh, Van Zinks ain't giving up quickly. It's too early in trial day 2 for that. As a rule, I fill my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. You might want to keep that information to yourself. The bailiff's gonna kick you out for being too drunk. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me, and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamspeare.
Yes, my liege.
Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that... Yes. Perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene. Way to guide him to the next lie, Van Zeeks. A fact that had vanished from your memory until now.
By faith, my liege, thou art a magician. You knew. For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night.
What?
Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection!
And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
His credibility is down the toilet, Your Honor. People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend. Which is why we rely on evidence instead. And where's the evidence he used the teapot then? But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put in the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court.
The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts.
Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words. There goes the card again. The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No! What does this mean then?
I do declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony.
Apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously.
Love how Juror 6 always gets so mad. He doesn't even know what's going on half the time. He's just angry for the sake of being angry. My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery Ale House that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back me stooped as low as death.
And on what did you dine, sir?
Why, I did partake of my favorites. A broth as wouldst be called soup, and a leaf as wouldst be called salad.
A solitary leaf? As insalubrious as a menu as the establishment where it was served. I can't just be belting out complex words. It throws off my entire sentence vocabulary. That doesn't even make any sense, but it sounded like it did.
But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So willingly would I suffer what punishment is seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray ye wise and noble fellows, ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another.
Huh? Ah.
Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspeare doth entreat you. Punish the Japanese fellow for his sins.
My lord! If I may speak, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Foreman.
I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. Oh, God, here we go again. By me? I'm not the liar here. He's a proven gas thief, for goodness sake. He's got less credibility than I do.
I do declare that you may be right.
Now she's quivering in anger. We all know the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves to just poison, eh? He's been leading us up the garden path, that's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. You're putting words in my mouth now. But what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. We? Jeez, the royal we much?
The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings.
What? No! You can't yet. We just started, and it's not even tea time.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Oh,
Guilty.
damn, even juror number 4.
Guilty.
Not even one person says not guilty? Oh boy, it's gonna be a busy morning.
I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord.
Oh, happy day.
Man, Zeke's ain't smiling. He knows what I'm gonna do. How is this happening? My lord, I object. The defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination.
I knew you'd do that. Very well, the court upholds the defense's right.
Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged.
Okay, here we go. Judicial findings speak. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is.
Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
These are not reasons. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
I don't even know where to begin. All those reasons were friggin' like spaghetti. I gotta untangle what's relevant and irrelevant.
I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat, but I guess I gotta accept the common folks' judgment. But never mind. You guys don't understand what you're doing as a jury, do you?
No, you really should mind.
The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamspeare was poisoned. There can be no doubt of that.
Then how are we supposed to turn this around?
I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspeare was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly.
There's that word again. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage.
If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty.
No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. No time for chit-chat for tactics.
Alright. Can't wait to wipe that smug grin off his face. I can't wait to see his breakdown. I swear to God. The defense's rebuttal. Here we go. Where do we start? You're a man of logic. You've considered all the evidence. The defendant must logically be guilty. Right. Okay, well, at least you've got your own personal reasons for finding him guilty. Whereas over here, gas is far too expensive. You can understand why I'd want to avoid paying. Okay, if we're saying that the poison was not in the tea, we have to say that the poison was inhaled, right? Through gas. Stuff explodes, it can poison you, it's absolutely lethal. Gas is... Are we saying it wasn't... Hang on. Court record... Do we have... Okay, medical report for the victim. Ingestion of a small quantity of strychnine. Toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood that was mixed with the tea. Obviously, that doesn't mean it was certain. Poison incident occurred around 1:30 a.m. It's only assessed from the victim's pocket watch that appears to have broken when he collapsed. Okay. Okay, so it's not, gas poisoning. Strychnine was in the gas, if that's how it was done. Let's press the statement here. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal gases. Can we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir? Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I'd take poison over gas every time. You take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man.
I'm not on your side, man. You all betrayed me. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room. Ah! You're right. I hadn't considered that at all. There you go. Did your advertising for you.
Young lawyer man.
Yes?
You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative.
Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. Okay, that's not the point at all. Gas doesn't come for free, it costs a fortune to deliver it around the city. The tea is being served. Okay, we need to press... We need to do something about this one. There's no other explanation about the poison entering his system. Do I need to cross 2 and 4? I don't know. Seems a bit flimsy. Let's press juror number 1 for his logical reasonings. I want him to make logical arguments. Like Gote Gokuhara. All the evidence you say. That's right. And there's no more room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with a big mustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache.
Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind.
If only we had that kind of evidence.
Don't worry. This summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light.
Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. Maybe we just... let's just start by pitting her against number 4 here. I just want to see what happens.
Objection!
Those two statements are fundamentally at odds with one another.
Hold it.
My lord, as foreman of the jury, I must object. These guys are talking about gas. It's irrelevant. What? Being their leader, it's my duty to stand up for all jurors here present. And stand up for them I will.
I concur with the foreman. Counsel, I warn you, I shan't abide any pettifoggery.
You're abiding them talking all about gas.
Until you've got your facts straight, keep your pointy fingers to yourself.
I thought I did.
We're trying to find inconsistencies in these jurors' statements, Mr. Naruhodo. The key to it is comparing the different things they say before attempting to pit them against one another.
Alright, I'll have another go. Sorry. I knew it was a stretch, but I thought I'd press my luck since I did so well in the first cross-examination. Let's press this here.
Hold it!
Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you'd change your leaning?
Sorry? What's that now?
Oh, I was just saying, if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on the night... What's the matter with you?
Sorry? I said if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night. There's no other explanation, is there?
Haven't you been listening to me at all? I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here.
Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently.
I suppose. The trouble is...
He has selective hearing?
Exactly. But still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. Ugh, this is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people.
I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shamspeare was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way, and not by Mr. Natsume's tea.
Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen.
Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten?
Oh? Like what?
It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else says. If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course.
Once again, Seki-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. Okay, I'm aware that we need to examine other people, but I thought there would always be, like, a chord or something that plays that reminds us that, or at least alerts us to the fact that someone's reacting. I probably owe it to my client to hear any advice my assistant may be able to offer. So perhaps I ought to let Susato-san remind me. Then again, no need. I got this. Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible.
Of course, I'm sure you're right. But if you decide you would like your memory refreshed, you need only ask, Mr. Naruhodo.
Gotcha. Thank you, Susato. I'm glad I can count on you. Let's go with juror number 5 here. Let's talk about your wife's tea. You mean it's poisoned? That's right. It's happened a tidy few times now.
This is most troubling indeed.
It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get into tea time, see, and I see her doing it. My wife. She gets that devilish look on her face, and she slips some white powder into my cup. And you drink it anyway. I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. Even if you're gonna die. And what happened here? What did it taste like? Sugar. It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell. Well, yeah. There you go. She used water from the Thames?
Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt.
No! So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable.
Let's move on, please. For the love of God.
Okay. Gas doesn't come for free. Costs a fortune. Delivering it around the city. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? It's giving me gas.
There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so.
She's really buzzing now.
All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison.
Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the Theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know.
More devious? Who, madam?
Other gas companies, of course.
Anyone working for another gas company here? No. Other gas companies. Not quite what I was expecting.
We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed. Nobody's questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all.
What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people?
You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes, and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks.
There we go. Oh, your jaw's pretty slack.
Excuse me.
What on earth are you reacting for? Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct?
Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see.
Go on.
An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in. And do you know what he did?
I'm afraid I have no idea. I'm all ears, though. Please tell us.
He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there.
Oh, please. Everybody knows. But it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean?
I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network.
Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it?
Obviously there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
Oh, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker.
The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might. And you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right. The lights didn't just flicker. They went out. Along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house. And then my house exploded. What a disaster.
The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out.
I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all, I said? So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. I see.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps...
Yes. This is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information.
Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues that try to diddle us.
Like I said, madam, it's widely known already. And even if everyone knows, how are they gonna prevent it? How are they gonna circumvent it, sorry.
Very well, juror number 3, we will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Blow too hard into a gas pipe, you extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble. Okay, I don't think it's to do with that. I mean, it could be. For now, let's press juror number 2.
Hold it!
This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam.
But really, think of the injustice. Air's a gas and air is free. Why should Altamont gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever.
This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either. Merciful would be great.
Am I to deject here?
Yes, madam?
It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price our company charges for gas.
Oh, now you guys are arguing.
But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up. Oh, what a beastly man. That unkempt moustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas, utterly unforgivable.
Oh no, wrong person. No, Mr. Natsume isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I'll thank you not to go adding more crimes.
Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas.
Oof. Okay. Sassy. Suppose our next question is, does blowing too hard into a gas pipe count as something passing between your lips? I feel like let's pit juror number 3 here with juror number 6. We've still got 4 lives left. I know it's the beginning of day 2, but surely we can hold on to these for the rest of the trial today. Pit.
Objection!
Okay, there we go. Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other. Well, not particularly contradict, but they are related in some way.
Good gracious. To whose statements do you refer, counsel?
The one with a spotlight on him. Juror number 6. Did you hear what juror number 3 just said? Or is your selective hearing kicking in again?
What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder. Did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene to see if there were any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time. But the mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance.
Hold it!
Mr. Shamspeare,
What a piece of work as a man.
what are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare?
What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir. I'm probably mean. Why would I blow on the gas pipe?
I thought I'd been quite clear. But let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body.
Good lord.
Alright, we've got a plausible explanation. Are they tasty, then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying?
Was the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him,
For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
Oh god, there goes the hallowed chalice. This is no summation examination. This is a farce! I knew he was going to say farce before the text even came up. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture. It's not conjecture. Get Scotland Yard a check, and then it'll be testimony, alright? Well, new one. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions. And it's gone again. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection!
Well, there are handprints all over the wall. It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. And I have evidence to prove it. It's in my mouth somewhere, apparently. Alright, you've got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So would I. Let's see this evidence then. Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. By slamming the table. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of his gas lamp. This one here, handprints on the wall. Present.
Take that!
What the? These are... Wait, what are they called? Yeah, skin prints that were found at the scene.
Skin prints, Counsel? I've never heard of such things. Quickly explain before I penalize you. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however. But skin prints? What the bleeding hell?
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it?
Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure.
I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating.
We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here.
Around the hanging picture there. Indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder. Could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps?
Yeah, he was ogling it, rubbing his nose in it. At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, we realized that was a ridiculous assertion. Imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... what? In front of... Ah!
I don't believe it. The gas lamp!
Yeah, I didn't see that, actually. That's on me. I thought it was just like a safe behind the picture. But, of course, we checked behind it and there was nothing there. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious. It's clear that Mr. Shamspeare has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp. Right. What have you been up to, you nut?
Innocently fidgeting.
I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement.
Me? What did I say?
You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement. What? Me now? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights and the gas stove to go out, and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, Mr. Shamspeare tried to kill Mr. Natsume. In order to gain access to his room, perhaps. If Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in this room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Or, he could have been trying to, extinguish all the lights so he could start doing his dirty burglary work. Crikey!
Are you suggesting that the man purposefully caused the gas to...
Objection!
I will not sit by idly any longer. Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law.
What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zieks?
This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique, developed by the great detective.
It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. Clearly, he's still asleep. Ugh.
Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
I mean, I don't blame him. It's brand spanking new.
Please, my lord, if I may. Miss Susato? It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene, as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yeah, we're just casting reasonable doubt.
And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree.
Yeah, not admissible. Too late. We've already got it into the jury's mind. It's like when the judge orders the jury, disregard that evidence, and that ain't happening. It's done. It's dusted. It's out there. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Juror number 3?
Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating.
She's fangirling.
And I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints.
Okay. 2 more. What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy.
Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise.
No, wait! You heard his lordship. It's not fair dinkum evidence. I can't believe this is Australian with his crikey and his fair dinkum. Do I have to give him an Australian accent now?
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Sato. But I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success.
It's our success, Susato. Come on, please. We're a partnership. Uh-oh. Hang your head in shame, Mr. Shamspeare. Why, Mr. Shamspeare? You seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it.
Very well. Continue, counsel.
Alright, let's resume. Man of logic. You're interested in the results, so no need to go after you anymore. We're the ones who decide. Gas doesn't come for free. Sketchy. Tea your wife serves, and you're all good as well. Okay, where the hell do we go next? Do we press juror number 1 now that half the jurors have turned over to not guilty? Or, yeah, not guilty? Let's press. All the evidence, you say? That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointed at that Japanese man with a big moustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger moustache, that's all the same. Oh, never mind, we got a difference. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? What, your so-called skin prints?
It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique. Developed by the great detective himself, please copy the same excuse that juror number 2 has.
The numerous handprints of the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth through the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was. What? Yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides... Yes? Even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh. If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You do make a very valid point, sir.
No, don't reverse, please. What?
That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty.
No, wait. Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Just leave our nationality out of this, please.
Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate a position, I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before may very well change them back.
What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspeare really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? I have to present evidence. Supporting testimony. Do I have supporting testimony? Let's check our evidence first. I don't think I do have anything. Yeah, I don't think I've got evidence, but maybe we can bluff our way through with a supporting testimony. No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it. What's that? Testimony?
This is incredible! Whose testimony?
Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. The person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Garadeb residence that night. Namely, Mr. Garadeb.
Take that!
Well, Mr. Foreman, does that convince you? It doesn't sound like it does. Phew. I don't think he was listening.
Mr. Stewart, counsel, I shan't let such nonsensical answers go without penalty.
I thought I'd got away with it.
The witness who spoke about the gas on the night in question. Yes, there was someone.
Oh god, Mr. Natsume, of course. That's what I thought too, but I obviously chose the wrong person. Okay, back to pressing him. Okay, of course. As soon as I heard about the gas, I was like, oh, Mr. Garrett was watching the gas labs, but no. We're talking about Mr. Natsume and the fact that the gas went out and got cold. Here we go.
Take that!
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant. Obviously, Mr. Soseki Natsume himself. The defendant? At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following.
My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even on that fateful night it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me.
On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not?
Good golly.
So that Shamspeare fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Now hold your horses there. What would he do that for? Well, Mr. Foreman, what is it, ma'am? We cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye. Grr. Well, Mr. Logic, fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost. I'm surprised juror number 4 didn't turn on him. That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. How about it, Van Zeeks?
As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now call guilty. 4 now call not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial.
Thank you, my lord.
Mr. William Shamspeare.
My lord, how can thy humble Shamspeare serve thee?
What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination?
So God mend me, I do solemnly swear, I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe.
But your handprints have made a tiny mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh? I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5. Me? As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall, performing orally on it, remains at this time unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Objection!
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there...
Objection!
What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required. Yes. Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that if your poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have been completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. I didn't think of that.
In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipe work where you lived?
Yeah, well, it's either he's blowing air, because right now he's blowing smoke up all our asses.